The Rayong coast on the Gulf of Thailand is only a few hours' drive away from central Bangkok. This was our 5th trip back, and every visit we discover something new and wonderful. This trip, we visited both Rayong and Chanthaburi provinces, where we swam in the clear, sheltered waters of Ao Krathing and explored the mangrove forests of Nam Prasae, where we saw the absolutely magical Tung Phrong Thong, Rayong's famous Golden Meadow.
Come along with us as we explore the mangrove forests and hidden beaches of the Gulf of Thailand.
Over the Songkran holiday, we went on a 2-week trip from Bangkok to southern Thailand. We made a 6-episode series on that trip, and if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. You'll find links below in the description. Our problem now was the post-vacation come down. That stir-crazy kind of mood that comes when you'd rather be out exploring. Our remedy for that kind of feeling is pretty straightforward. We just get in the car again. This time, our rebound road trip took us to Rayong province, just a couple of hours outside of Bangkok. Well, it was supposed to be a couple of hours, but this was a big holiday weekend in Thailand, and there was tons and tons of construction. We took every detour and shortcut we could think of, but the drive was closer to 5 hours than 2. It was not cool. We did at last arrive at our tent at Camp Cayla Costa, perched on the side of a pond. The kids' first move was to see if they could swim in it.
Yeah, Dad, I don't think we can swim. See, look.
Kat soon found some compensation for the disappointment with a bit of fish food.
Can I have some? Can I have some too? Dad, the small fish like it. Oh, look, they're eating it, Daddy. One of the big fish is here. We were feeding the fish. The fish were very fast. It was fun.
With the kids having fed the fish, it was time for fish to feed the kids. The seafood restaurants along Laem, Phim beach let you choose your dinner while it's still alive, swimming in tanks along the footpath. The boys are much happier looking at the wildlife than they are eating it.
Do you like my sunglasses, Charlie? Looking good.
Something sticky on my fork.
You need some of that crab?
Henry may not have been into the crab, but somebody else was.
I have no idea how. Getting the crab meat out of the shells is a lot of work, but I really like crab. Crab is so good that I don't even care about the work.
After dinner, we walked down to the beach to wash our hands in the sea and to have a little stroll. Not that anyone stayed clean for very long. By the time we were ready to return to our tents, the long drive was a distant memory.
So yummy.
What? I'm eating them from the floor.
We spent a lazy morning swimming in the very calm water of Laem, Phim. And after a quick lunch, we were ready for our next adventure. Pak Nam Prasae Mangrove Forest is only about a 20-minute drive from Camp Cayla. From there, we paid about 25 baht to take a tuk-tuk from our car to the reserve entrance.
Don't drop your phone.
The tuk-tuk dropped us off at Pak Nam Pier. We crossed a tiny suspension bridge and entered the mangrove forest. There's an extensive network of boardwalks through the park, not all of which are in the best shape. Somehow, none of the kids slipped through the cracks, and we soon came out of the shade into a broad valley of golden-leaved mangroves. The whole valley is filled with Prong Thong mangrove trees, which in the right light glow with a greenish golden light. It is magical.
It was fun walking on the high bridge, and we saw a lot of crabs. And we saw a lot of mud crabs.
The further we went, the sketchier the boardwalk became. In some places held together only by a single board. It doesn't look healthy. Okay.
Oh my God, Charles. There's a very big crab. Dad, there's a giant crab, look.
What?
There.
You can see it on the trail.
It's just that interesting.
We followed a different section of the boardwalk to a 5-story observation tower. Given the state of some sections of the boardwalk, I had some concerns.
The observation tower was a rickety building. It was a little bit scary because it was so tall. Mom and Dad were a bit nervous, but I wasn't very nervous.
Look, I won't pretend that I wasn't very relieved when we turned around, climbed back down, and reached the bottom. Our family really does love these mangrove forests. They're otherworldly. You can find them all over Thailand, from the Andaman coast to here in the Gulf of Thailand. It is almost always a worthwhile stop. We could have stayed for longer, but we had pressed our luck on the boardwalk too far already. It was a miracle that nobody had yet wound up in the mud. We decided the most sensible move was to head back to Laem Phim for dinner, and then to call it the end of another very good day. The next morning we started early, driving with fingers crossed through the rain on our way to Chanthaburi province. We'd heard that the nicest beach for miles around was to be found at Ao Krathing, about 90 minutes away from Camp Cayla. Dozens of sediment-laden rivers empty into the stretch of the Gulf of Thailand, resulting in shallow and not especially clear seas. Ao Krathing, though, is at the end of a rocky promontory, and the sea and the sand are, I think, the nicest in the area.
The water was still and it was nice and warm, so I didn't get cold. It didn't even cool me down.
As they climb the broken down escalator, students may also bring an owl or a cat or a toad. Parents are reminded that first years are not allowed their own broomsticks.
While Henry's mum read a bit of Harry Potter to him, Frick and Frack solemnly swore to get up to no good.
Do you want to be a mermaid? Do you want to be an octopus? Do you want to be a fish? Do you want to bury both of our feet? Okay. Well, we have to make it deep then.
Seeing that everyone else had something to do, I decided to go for a walk on the short nature trail that ran above the beach.
So maybe because it's about 35 degrees and 90% humidity in the middle of the day, the family has decided to sit out the nature hike. They can stay on the beach and read some books. 300 meters though, I think we can do this. I think this has got to be the end of the hike. It's just a cliff. Nice walk though. A little escape route so that maybe this is a loop.
And it was. The view over the bay I'd hoped to find just wasn't there. But the walk brought me back to the far end of the beach. Well worth the 20 minutes. I hope the kids hadn't been being silly while I was away.
Your leg's gonna get bumped by the sand.
What happened? Oh no. Where? Yeah. You okay? What are you doing today?
We're at a beach.
How is it?
Good.
Tell me about it.
I found a little fish and I named it Nipper, and then I released it, and then I went swimming, and then the fish came back and made itself a home under my armpit.
Swam under your armpit?
Yeah,
For how long?
for 2 hours.
For 2 hours. Really?
For 1 hour.
What will you do for the rest of the day?
I'll swim and swim.
Yeah, you gonna swim in this?
Yeah.
Kids, what did you think about your day at the beach?
I liked it.
Yeah, what did you like about the beach?
It was nice.
Wow, tough crowd. We'd had plans to feed this grumpy little man closer to home, but when we drove around the headlands near Chao Beach, it was too pleasant a scene not to stop for dinner.
Henry, where are you gonna go?
To the sea.
And do what?
Walk in the water.
Chao Bay is extremely shallow. When the tide comes all the way in, the water is only ankle deep for a good 100 meters or so. It gives the delightful illusion of walking on water.
Is it? Is it hot? Yeah? Why are you drinking water? Why are you so thirsty?
It's not that hot. It's just because it's a little bit hot because of the chilies, but otherwise it's yummy.
For the record, we did not encourage her to taste those chilies. She just happens to be, for better or worse, an amazingly brave kid. We have so much more to show you, and we hope you'll come along with us. Hit the subscribe button and join us on this journey. Thanks for watching.